Uh-oh. Oh. Can I... Nope, that's not gonna... Because then... Oh, yeah. No, my glasses! Cord. Okay. Okay. Hey guys, how y'all doing? BionicleSaurus here, and welcome to episode 1. Episode uno of the worst dinosaurs. This is the premiere of the greatest series this channel has ever seen. In this series, we are going to be reviewing the absolute poorest quality dinosaur toys I personally can find in my vast, horrid abomination of a collection. I say it's horrid because about half of it is dinosaurs that would qualify for an episode in this series. Basically, in this box I have, well, you know, you've probably heard of them before, Chinosaurs. Chinosaurs are basically figures that, well, figures is a compliment, toys, piles of plastic that appear to be modeled after dinosaurs, that rather than having a company name and everything on them, on the belly, you know, telling you what they are, a species name, just say made in China. So you don't know the origin and you don't know where they came from, and they're probably really low quality. Now, the way in which we are going to be selecting what toy we review in any given episode is I am going to reach into this giant bin and just randomly select one without even looking. I just pulled this out of the basement. It's probably disgusting, and so there's no need to ponder around asking what the meaning of life is and discussing great philosophical ideas. No need to slow down the process today just because it's the first day. Let's get straight into it, shall we? I am now going to select blind the first subject to be reviewed on the worst dinosaurs. I'm gonna cover my eyes on screen so that you know I ain't cheating. The best part of this series is that whatever I pick, I'll be completely unprepared to talk about it. And ooh, I got one. I think I know what it is. Yes, it's Noah-saurus. You'll get it in a minute. Okay, so the reason I'm calling this Noah-saurus is because that was the name of this figure when it was used as a specific character in the beloved DinoTube movie, A Dinosaur Story, created by the one and only Hoops and Dino Man. And I won't talk any more about that. Let's get straight into this thing. So, right off the bat, the really obvious thing that's off about this figure in terms of anatomy, and in my opinion, artistic visual value, that is the pose. The pose is kind of atrocious. It's looking straight up. It's leaning really far back. This thing is as reared up as you can get, which is inaccurate. Theropods, their bodies were parallel to the ground, their tails were stiff balancing apparatuses, adaptations, whatever, I don't know what word I'm looking for. The only thing that kind of saves it a tiny bit is the fact that he is looking up. That makes me think that the sculptor knew that this isn't how tyrannosaurs would walk all the time, and that this was just, you know, a special occasion where he was really distracted by a shiny object in the sky. Unfortunately, there's no reason for a T-Rex to do this with its entire body just to look up. And in fact, if you look at it, the head, considering where the neck actually attaches to the skull, the head could still tilt more this way. It did not need to lean its whole body back to look up. I think the main purpose of this was probably stability. You know, this way you can use the tail as a contact point and the whole thing balances easier. But it's lazy. It's not very anatomically feasible. It's silly. In terms of the quality of the sculpt, of the paint job, of the detail, all that sort of nitty-gritty kind of stuff, quality control and all that, there's not much good to say. Now, mine clearly has some blood stains on it and also some brown paint stains. The sculpt is odd, the texture, the detail is odd. Specifically, the scalation, look at the size of them scales. Look how big these scales are. Some of them are massive. Look at that one right by my thumbnail. Like, that is a huge scale. It's bigger than his eyeball. The scalation for the size of this figure should be much more fine. Gosh, look at the scalation on the tail. It's not even scales. They aren't even raised. It's just scale-shaped engravings in the plastic. That looks terrible. There's also a lot of excess plastic and a lot of seam lines. Seam line. Big seam line all along there. Yeah, there's one on the bottom of the arm here, of that arm. In terms of the head sculpt, talking a little bit more about specific anatomy, the head kind of resembles a T-Rex. He's got the binocular vision. He's got the whole, you know, back of the skull is wide, front of the skull is thinner, so he can see past his snout. Honestly, the shaping isn't that bad. The teeth are super silly. They're giant pegs. There's no variation in size, and the shape is completely off. Also, it's worth mentioning that the jawline is just like a straight line, whereas it should be like a swoop and then like a jutting out bit. No pronated hands, that's good. Obviously no feathers, but wouldn't even really expect it. The eyes are probably too big. That's another thing that I should mention. Oh, hey, more seam lines around the mouth. Oh, wow, that's really bad looking. The overall color scheme is boring. I like that there's some green accents, and this kind of orange amber coloration like under the throat is kind of a cool little touch, but overall it's nothing much to comment on. Also, no detail inside the mouth. There's not even a tongue. Yeah, look at that. Zero tongue. I could certainly talk about this figure in even greater detail. I could bring up more little nitpicks and flaws, but I think the verdict is in. I'm gonna go ahead and give this random poor quality T-Rex, assumably it's a T-Rex. Yeah, it says T-Rex on the bottom. No company name, just made in China, just like it's supposed to be. Yay. Anyhow, I would say that my overall rating for this is a 3? No, it's a 2. It's barely a 2, in fact. I want to give it more because there's nostalgia behind this toy. I'm probably going to have this problem with a lot of the things I'm going to be reviewing in this series where I'm like, oh, but I have memories of playing with it as a child. But you know what? It really doesn't deserve any more than a 2. It's not even a strong 2. It's a weak 2. I will leave 0 for figures that literally have no redeeming factors. So for now, I think 2 is solid. It could be a 3, but we'll see how things turn out. It's hard when I don't have more references to work from. This is the first figure of this low a quality that I've ever really reviewed, so we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, and BionicleSaurus signing out, and I hope you look forward to many amazing years to come of episodes of The Worst Dinosaurs!